If you're not quite ready, if you haven't been to that place of healing or that place of where you're beginning to process and go through that grief, and the window is lost.
Josie Niepenak knows it can be hard to open up publicly about a murdered or missing loved one. Her own aunt and cousin were murdered. She says some families are hesitant and haven't yet told their story to the inquiry, but she still thinks a shorter extension is a good idea.
I'm not sure that they should get 2 years, partially because I believe that any resources put forward on should be placed towards family wellness.
The inquiry said it needs more time so that hundreds more families can share their stories, but it has also struggled with delays and resignations. The government was asked today if not granting the full 2-year extension was a sign of a lack of confidence.
No, I think that we are very grateful for the work of the Commission in particular.
But if the minister wouldn't say she was impatient, she did suggest some provinces are, noting more than one would not sign off on a 2-year extension.
If any province and territory did not agree to have those extended, we would no longer have a national public inquiry.
The inquiry also wanted more funding, an additional $50 million. The government did hand out about that much today, but to Indigenous groups and for police oversight, all outside the inquiry.
A lot of the families said to us that they would rather the money went into the concrete actions for seeking of justice, support for families, and actions to make sure it doesn't happen again.
The inquiry's chief commissioner says she's incredibly disappointed.
It certainly is going to limit the amount of evidence we can take in, the amount of evidence we can process, and the number of facts we can make findings upon.
One commissioner says in light of this decision, she's reflecting on whether or not to keep working with the inquiry. Either way, the final report is now due by April 30th of next year. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, Ottawa won't say how much more money it'll give to the national inquiry, but it's worth noting today the government did promise millions to address the inquiry's interim recommendations. Now, about $27 million will be given to expand health supports and victim services. This is something families and survivors have been asking for. Ottawa will also follow through on calls to establish a commemoration fund, $10 million, so Indigenous organizations can organize memorial events. Another $1 million or so will fund a review of how police policies and practices affect Indigenous people. And the RCMP will get about $9.5 million for a new unit that will oversee major investigations, including cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls.